It's the daily haul thoughts beyond the cart. You know I love to shop, but I shop smart. Promo codes and coupons I use, and I can resell for a profit. There's no crying the blues. Visit ushop2much.com. Go on and treat yourself. You know you want to.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Haul. Fake applause. I'm your host, Sunshine. Before I get all the way into the show, let me just let y'all know I am not tucked away in a fancy studio. I'm not in a soundproof room. I am in the comfort of my home. That said, I have very noisy neighbors, so you may hear a child scream. I have two doggies, Max and Bixby, and Max is very vocal, so you may hear him bark, and I can't help that. All right, but let me get back to it. Yay! We get to start our 4-part series on weight loss. I promised, and I had to do a little bit of tweaking, planning this thing out, and I want to get it right, and I don't want to overload you like I did with my episode on ADD. I wish I would have split that up. So we're going to split this up into 4 episodes, okay? And today we're going beyond the cart. We're going right into the medicine cabinet. Now, if you look around, you already know we're living in the era of the skinny shot. But let's talk about the star of our show, GLP-1. A lot of people see this medication, they hear about this medication, they may be even on this medication, and they don't know what GLP-1 stands for. GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide. Sounds fancy, right? But basically, what a GLP-1 is your body's security guard. It's your body's manager on duty. Think of it like this. I know for a person like me, your brain can be like, it's like me in a clearance sale. Your brain is toward food. So you go into a clearance sale, you see everything. You want everything. And it's constantly add to cart, add to cart. I want more. Let me get more. I can get that. If I get that, I'll wear that. I'll get this. I'll do that. We're the same way with food. I'll just eat this last thing. Oh, I'm just going to have that. I'll go walk in tomorrow. Oh, I want those brownies. You know what? I'll just take extra steps. I'll park further out into the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? And so your brain is just constantly trying to get more food. My mom is constantly, you know what tastes good? You know what I have a taste for? You know what sounds good? Oh, guess what I saw on Facebook? This girl was making blah, blah, blah. Food is all around us. And so we're constantly wanting it. We're constantly thinking about food. When you use a GLP-1, like Ozempic or Mounjaro, it's basically going to step in. It's like the security guard. It's the supervisor. It's going to tap your brain on the shoulder and say, excuse me, ma'am. No, you don't need to buy those brownies. You have food at home. You don't need that. You're already full. Put that back. You don't even want it. It stands in front of the door of your stomach like, girl, you're not even hungry. You just want it because you see it. It's like, it's logic. It gives you, it's like common sense for your stomach, for your appetite. Common sense for your appetite. And it slows down your digestion too. So it'll help you feel fuller longer. So, I mean, regardless of who you are, if you feel full, it's hard to shovel more food in. And it's been coined food noise now. But that the little voice in your head that tells you you're hungry, that tells you you want that thing. GLP-1s turn down that food noise that plays in your head like a big boom box. It turns that noise down. It's not magic. It's not a shortcut. It's just finally giving your body a remote control to turn that noise down. That's it. So again, the top dogs in the GLP-1 game, in my opinion, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound. There's another one, and it's Rest or something Tide. I'm not even going to try to guess the name. That's as far as I'll go with that. But I don't believe it's been approved. I believe they're in like clinical trials for this one. And then beyond the usual suspects that I just mentioned, GLP-1s have been around for a while. There's a GLP-1 called Byetta. It's Byetta. It's a twice a day shot. And why wouldn't it be? Because back then they hadn't perfected it yet, probably enough for it to be a once a day shot. And that one came out in, I want to say, 2005. My mother used to be on a medication called Victoza. Victoza had my mom and kept her at a size 10. She was very small. And that was a once a day injection. It was a pen that was similar to um, Ozempic. It's a multi use pen. Now, they say it was because of the Victoza, but I would personally argue that it could have been the diabetes itself. But my mom ended up developing chronic pancreatitis, for which she had to go on a medication called Creon, and it helps with pancreatic acids. Like when she has to take this Creon before she eats, right? So yeah, GLP-1s have been around for a long time, and a lot of people have problems with them, right? But regardless of what people think, these injections have changed the game. And my take on it is, if it's helping people get healthy, and we know it is, because you're losing weight, you got people out here walking, you have people who has so much weight on their joints, their knees, their feet ached. And so now they're down to a good size where they can go to the park and walk. They can go into the gym and work out. So it's definitely helping people get healthy. So why do people care? Right? Why do people even care? Everywhere you turn, though, someone is shrinking. And the conversation is always about the shot. Even if the person, they could have had gastric bypass, or they may have naturally lost the weight. Who knows? But the conversation is always about the shot. There's a lot of noise out there. You have some people, they call it cheating. They're like, that's not right. You shouldn't take those medications. Why are you on those medications? Why can't you do it yourself? I've heard people say things like, don't take that stuff. Do it yourself. It's more rewarding. But when you have people who've been trying years and years to lose weight to no avail, should they not take the shot and keep struggling with heart disease? Should they not take the shot and keep being on a host of diabetes medications? Should they not take the shot and continue huffing and puffing when they walk upstairs, or overeating and doing so in a way that they simply cannot control? Other people see it for what it is, a miracle. Now, you may not believe this, but there's actually a phenomenon about people's reaction to the weight loss of others. What have we become when we are so worried about other people that it has phrases or terms coined for this behavior? Now, I came across a few of these terms while I was researching for this particular episode. So the first one is called weight loss medication bias. This is a deeper societal phenomenon where people who lose weight using medication are judged more harshly than those who use diet and exercise, perpetuating stigma even for medically approved health improvements. There's rapid transformation discomfort. This is the psychological unease people feel when they have to adjust to someone's drastically altered appearance, as they're not used to seeing such significant fast weight loss. And last but not least, there is phantom fat syndrome. Yes, you heard me right. Phantom fat syndrome. Now, the thing about this one is that it's usually experienced by the person losing weight. They feel like they're still big. And we're going to get into body dysmorphia in a later episode. But this term can also relate to an observer's disconnection between a person's known history and their new small appearance. For example, Tasha has always been Big Tasha, Fluffy T, Fat Fat Fatty. You know, people always come up with nicknames for people, right? What's in the name? Well, she's an athletic size 10. Tasha lost a gang of weight. Tasha lost 100 pounds, and she's a size 10 now, right? Tasha is doing the damn thing. However, people still want to call her Big Tasha. People still want to call her names that are associated with her former larger size. Huh? Is she going to be Big Tasha for the rest of her life? Is she ever going to come out from under that? People don't realize words have power, and things that you say to people that you think, oh, she don't mind. Oh, she's used to it. She may go home every night and cry into her pillow. Don't always assume what a person feels. Be respectful. Be respectful of people. I digress. People actually have difficulty detaching from a person's old appearance. That is crazy to me. Imagine being that invested in someone else's life. Imagine judging someone for fixing up a problem. This person's taking steps to save their own life, and you have a problem with it. That's crazy. I mean, look at it this way. If you had a tool to fix a broken sink, and I'm not talking about just, oh, the sink, you need to twist something. You've seen people get under their sink and they're like, oh, I can't reach it. You know what I'm saying? A regular tool won't do. So then you have to go to the hardware store and you have to get that one long tool that kind of curves around, and it's a little more expensive and it's, a little more difficult to get a hold of, but it actually does the trick. To me, that's how I see a GLP-1. It's a tool. If you had a tool to fix your broken sink, you would use it. And obesity requires certain tools. People look at it like some sort of moral failure. If you're fat, you have failed morally. Obesity is a medical issue. And again, these shots, they work on the food noise, that chatter in the back of your mind that's telling you that you're hungry. It's telling you to go in there and check the cabinet. It's telling you to check the refrigerator. Now, for a person like me, there's an extra issue, because the thing about GLP-1s, they won't fix your relationship with food. They just pause the cravings. But for a person like me, it doesn't necessarily work out that way. I have stress issues. I deal with anxiety, as you all know from my last long ASS episode. And when you're a stress eater, a GLP-1 isn't making much difference. My stress will kick a GLP-1 into the middle of next week. I know this. I've done the math. I've done the work. I've taken the shot. It does not work for me. So I have to get my stress in check first before I could even successfully use a GLP-1. Okay? So the main thing I want people to remember, though, if you know someone who is using a GLP-1, we have got to stop the shame game. Okay? People losing weight is a good thing. If a person gets gastric bypass and they lose weight and they're taking care of themselves and they're doing the things that they're supposed to do post-care, kudos to you. I am happy for you. I want you to win. If you are taking a GLP-1, cool. I want you to win. Now, pills like Adipex and things that speed up your heart, I do not support. I do not support. I do not support, period. HCG, I can't tell people not to use it, but I can tell you when I used it, it sent me on a ride that I will never forget. I will never forget. And I wasn't even taking it for weight loss, but it did make me lose weight. But it also caused me to go into the depression that I still deal with at times to this day. So GLP-1s, they seem to be so far so good, is what I can say. If you went in and got on a treadmill, if you went walking, if you went through surgery, maybe you went and had a little bit of lipo, and we'll get into that in a later episode too. The ultimate goal here is health, right? So if you're a person who's using any of these methods to lose weight, you're on a GLP-1, you're working out, you had gastric bypass, and you're adjusting to your new body and your new way of eating, don't let the easy way out crowd get in your ear. Don't let these people frustrate you. Don't let them make you feel less than or feel any kind of way, okay? Because there's nothing easy about navigating side effects or the judgment of people who think you didn't earn your body. You're doing the work. And if you're on a GLP-1, this is just a new tool in the kit. All right, I will see you all next week for our second episode. And I'm still kind of deciding what I'm going to talk about next. I haven't put them in a specific order, But come back next week to the Daily Haul, Thoughts Beyond the Cart. I have been your host, Sunshine, and I really appreciate you for hanging out with me. Take care.